Remove the music stand from your cymbal case on arrival and unlock the legs. You heard a click possibly, and these legs will be compressed inward like that. And to open them up, to expand them, you will have to take each one and pull out, and then it should easily expand by pushing that center piece down and tighten that wing nut. To expand the height, you will loosen the center wing nut, pull up to the desired height, and you'll have to experiment as far as the height goes, what's pleasant for you. And then the top wing nut will determine the angle of the cymbal rack once it is installed on that cymbal support arm, this part here. Before we go further, I'm going to note to you that if you'll shoot this set screw up top, you're provided with an Allen wrench, which is used to loosen and turn this stop nut. Now this nut will determine the slant at which this rack will be seated. We recommend that you leave it on top, even with the rod here, and that will enable your cymbal rack to be parallel to the floor. If you loosen this nut with the Allen wrench or hex key and you turn it, then your cymbal rack will be at an angle, and depending on how much you turn that will depend on the amount of slant that you get there. So for this purpose, and for most people, we believe that the desired location would be to leave it here on top. Okay, and then John's going to install that rack by taking off that wing nut and placing the cymbal rack with the printed note side toward the ringer. And he will reinstall that wing nut to secure the rack of bells. Now you notice here we have this set up so that it's quite low. We can raise the rod for a taller person and just tighten that wing nut once again for security. And once again, if you wish to create more of an angle this way, we're going to loosen this wing nut, which will slant the whole rack of bells. Very simple. I suggest that you play around with this so that you get used to it, and but really once assembly is complete, you'll be happy with how easy the whole process is. And I believe that probably expanding those legs in the very beginning is what might baffle some people. So just make sure that you unlock each leg by just gently pulling them out one by one. And if you have any other questions, you feel free to call Malmark 1-800-426-3235.